Hello everyone. I hope you've had another productive week. The purpose of this week's video is for me to comment briefly on about three different things. First thing I'd like to talk about is a little bit about our work this last week on our group evaluations of descriptive research studies. The second thing I want to talk about is this next week's assignment and kind of spend a little time setting up what we're going to do as we assess the relevance of educational research studies in this next assignment. And then finally, to encourage you one more time to continue working on your mock research projects while considering the timeline of things that need to be completed between now and the end of the semester. We only have just a couple weeks left plus finals week, and so things are rapidly drawing to a conclusion this semester. I'm sure you're glad to see that. Let me begin, though, by talking just briefly about this last week's assignment, our small group projects to evaluate descriptive research studies. In my opinion, all the groups found some very interesting studies to evaluate this last week. We ran into just a couple of glitches on this assignment, but for the most part, all of your groups did what I would consider to be an excellent job of coming together to successfully complete all of the components of this last project. I know you're all glad that that was the last of the small group projects, but I really need to compliment most of the groups. I mean, just about everyone did an excellent job working in groups on these assignments. And I know group work is not high on everyone's list, but I think that the products that we've seen are very, very good. My best hope is that this last assignment helped you distinguish just a little bit more between the two major types of studies that we've been studying this semester. Remember, and I can't resist this one more time, to review, there are two general types of studies that we've been studying. Experimental studies, and those can be either true experimental studies or quasi-experimental studies. And remember that experimental studies are designed to explore and to actually document cause and effect relationships. And then the other kind of type of study is the descriptive study. And descriptive studies can use one of three different kinds of designs. They can be simple, they can be comparative or correlational studies. And my best hope is that, again, as you think through the types of studies and the kinds of study designs, that will help you in not only evaluating research studies, but as you consider implementing and doing research in your own classrooms. So make sure you take a look at the comments that I post a little later this week, and I'll have those posted by Friday. In Module 5, I'll also have some individualized comments to you in the Grade Center by Friday. Make sure you take a look at those comments. Best hope, as always, is that those comments will help reinforce your learning in this class. Okay, enough said about the past. This next week, we're moving to Module 6, and your task in this next week's assignment is to locate any research study that's of interest to you. It could be descriptive or it could be an experimental study, and I want you to answer some questions about that study to determine its relevance. We, as good consumers of research, need to know if a study is reliable and valid, but we also need to know if it's really relevant to us. And so the way we're proceeding is that Marge Lauer has put together an outline, if you will, that we can utilize to determine if a study is really relevant to us. Probably the best way for you to complete this project is to highlight Marge Lauer's outline, paste it into a Word document, if you will, and then just simply put a plus or a minus by each of the content areas of the outline, and make some comments about that, and then simply cut and paste that completed Word document back into the text box for your discussion board thread this next week. You won't have any problem doing that, I don't think, and so I think that's probably the best way to get at that assignment. again, best hope is that this assignment will help you think about and determine the relevance of a study. You're doing this one individually. Choose virtually any study that you would like to evaluate as far as its relevance to you. Okay, finally, last thing I wanted to comment about is that I want to continue to encourage you anyway, one more time, to keep working on those mock research projects. As you look ahead, not this next week, but the week after, on Monday, April 25th, I'm asking you to post a draft of your project on the discussion board. That your project certainly won't be done, and we don't expect perfection in a completed project at this point in time, or project summary at this point in time. But the more detail you can put into this, the better it will be for you. The intent of this particular assignment is for us all to be able to read your drafts and provide you with some helpful encouragements or some helpful hints, if you will, to complete that project. So the more detail you can put into it, the better. So given that, you need to be thinking ahead. You need to be drafting ahead just a little bit prior to Monday, April 25th. Then we'll have that week for us to think about comments to one another about those projects. And the final project then, the outline of the project and your final project paper is due to me no later than Monday, May the 2nd. Been in conversations with many of you again this last week, and according to those conversations anyway, it seems that many of you are moving right ahead with those projects. So best wishes as you continue to work on that mock research project. And let me know if you have questions or things that I can help you with on the project. As always, make sure that you contact me if you have questions about anything related to this course, or if there's anything I can do to assist you in your work. Have a great week, everyone.